Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here today. My name is Tanya Vlahovic. I'm a head of developer ecosystem at eBay and also a lead architect for eBay public APIs. In addition, I am leading the public API governance team and the overall API decomposition and namespace definition. I'm an active contributor to eBay's technical standards and patterns related to both internal microservices and externally exposed public APIs. To make it simple, I'm involved in anything related to public APIs and large partner integrations at eBay. APIs are a big deal. At eBay, they are built by developers, for developers, and treated as first-class products. What really adds value to the APIs are successful integrations. They make the API program successful. We delivered APIs that connect businesses, people, and things. They evolve and grow with our business and enable it to expand into new experiences and new contexts. This year, we are celebrating 20th anniversary of the eBay Developers Program. We launched the first set of public API capabilities back in 2000 and continued supporting our successful and vibrant developer ecosystem. In our time today together, there are 3 areas that I would like to share with you. The importance of having consistent API portfolio, standards and patterns we define for our APIs, and finally, the emerging technologies that we expose via public APIs. So let's get started with the portfolio. Forward-looking organizations speak API to inspire innovation and to amplify reach. APIs evolve and grow with the business and open the door to new opportunities. The entire portfolio is what really brings value to organizations. Individual APIs are not sufficient for developers to innovate. The APIs are powerful when used together, so the portfolio dimension is what matters. I compare integrating with APIs to cooking. We provide healthy ingredients, and it's on our partners to create awesome recipes to delight their customers. Designing a set of APIs that will meet business objectives, attract developers, and be long-lived is a technical challenge. APIs express the value of a business, so the goal is to create a long-term vision for the APIs, plan ahead, and come up with a contract, stable contract, that will stay for years, even after new business capabilities are added down the road. The goal is to build a simple, secure, consistent, and well-documented set of capabilities that are intuitive and easy to discover, understand, and consume. And here is how we did it. Standardize what needs to be standardized. For our APIs, we have standards defined, but we are flexible on the how part, because standards define behavior, not implementation choices. Standards should be testable. Otherwise, it's not really scalable to test all APIs for standard behavior manually. There should be a way to measure this. At eBay, we have API compliance levels defined where all of the core standards are mandatory. We simply do not allow releasing new APIs if the standards are not met. Standards define what is constant across services. Basically, what the good citizen service is. If one of the APIs from your portfolio is not a good citizen API, it will for sure impact integration with your APIs. So the standard definitely ensure consistency across the APIs, and I will go over some of them. Names matter, vocabulary is very important. The URI is a sentence where resources are nouns and HTTP methods are verbs. Authorization and other cross-cutting concerns, quality levels, beta and GA, experimental APIs, deprecation, and so on. Behind all this, there is a governance process to make sure API teams follow the standards. Standards and rules are nothing without proper governance and proper process in place. And it's all about making the right choices for your organization. We established governance process that is objective, transparent, and manageable. Such process ensures the overall API readiness, and it is beyond the API design. It includes everything related to public APIs, such as consistency, cross-cutting concerns, rate limit configurations, operational aspects like API analytics, data privacy concern, availability for testing typically in sandbox-like environment, documentation, making sure that developer technical support is trained to support the new use cases in the new APIs, evangelism, SDKs, and so on. Agreeing on what needs to be done is hard, especially at the beginning. It's easy to be a general after a battle, but when starting with a blank paper, that's where the challenges are. Making sure engineers are following standards and practices is not fun at all, but it's all about finding a balance. Forces are always going to be pushing one way or another. So define and enforce your standards, but be flexible on the how part. Sticking out in the vast API wars is a challenge. So this process should be perceived as an enabler rather than a gate. And you have to make sure that engineering teams in your organization understand that. Further, we relied on existing patterns because somebody has already solved your problems, and established our own to avoid reinventing the wheel on every new API. Also, this helped to ensure consistency and enable speed and agility during the development phase. Typically, the problem consists of a goal and a set of constraints, and a pattern is an acceptable solution when there is a balance between the problem and the goal and the constraints. So to name some of the patterns that we have established: bulk request, partial download, async request, and so on. As I just said, a pattern solution is acceptable only when there is a balance achieved between the goal and the constraints. If all you have is a hammer, then every single problem looks like a nail. Try not to follow that. Use the pattern only when it makes sense. Sometimes it's very difficult for engineers. They just want to stay within their comfort zone. Use the same tool all over again. It takes time to assess the value of an API, to understand whether releasing an API was a success or a failure. It is essential to embrace change and emphasize an API ecosystem that is flexible and adaptable. When it is challenging to meet developers' needs, the API owners should change the perspective and look for a different solution to improve the API portfolio. Typically, there are many ways to solve the problem. Building a developer ecosystem is hard, with so many technical and all sorts of other challenges. But if done well, it expands in the right direction. And this is the goal of every organization. The easiest, and I keep saying the cheapest way to do APIs is to design intuitive and straightforward contracts. APIs are interfaces for people. They are for human developers. So the API design should be developer-centric and focused on the consumption with an outside-in perspective. There is intelligence beyond artificial that still matters. By providing consistent, predictable, and understandable name, the APIs tell their story and make documentation redundant to a great extent. The goal is to integrate with APIs without spending too much time on documentation, basically studying documentation or filing developer technical support tickets. I typically compare APIs to jokes. If you need to explain it, you miss the point. In general, APIs do three simple things, and I'm going to skip all of the technical challenges behind these steps sometimes. So gather data and perform actions, format data, and serve data. And that's it, as simple as that. In the API world, there is no such thing as one size fits all. There is no sharing here. My neighbor came to my house, took my plate, and we share it. That's for sure not how the APIs should be organized. APIs should do one thing and do it well without offering surprises. So gather things that change for the same reason and separate those that change for a different reason. Gather requirements with a healthy degree of skepticism. Understand the problem statement, find solution, and keep iterating. It is important to understand that the governance process evolves. When we released the first set of modern RESTful APIs back in 2016, we didn't pay attention to OpenAPI spec. That came later, and we retroactively fitted it into our process and released OpenAPI documents for all our RESTful APIs. For all our APIs, we do have contracts that are based on OpenAPI specs 2.0 and 3.0 published. We are among the first in the industry to have contracts based on the 3.0 spec. We chose OpenAPI spec because it is a standardized way nowadays to describe the contract of APIs. It is vendor neutral and both human readable, machine readable. It has plenty of mature tools, one of them being Swagger, that supports generative clients in more than 40 technology stacks. Integration with our APIs is streamlined and simplified. It literally takes a few minutes to integrate with read-only capabilities. Okay, you may say the time is needed for documentation and so on. We talked about that. Our goal was to have intuitive, simple, consistent, and easy to integrate and consume APIs. Your API is your documentation is the principle that we follow at eBay. APIs are everywhere nowadays. They play an integral role in the digital world by enabling new integration models that empower developers to unlock opportunities and to propel their business into the future. The vision of any API program is a large and powerful ecosystem of developer applications that add value and benefits to organizations. It is essential to be in the game and follow the right strategy to become a champion. Disruptive forces are very strong in commerce today. Augmented reality is present, artificial intelligence with speech and image recognition and all sorts of self-learning systems, virtual reality, and so on. All of these innovations have the power to dramatically reshape the buying and selling experience. At eBay, we are exposing such capabilities through APIs. Recently released search by image and text machine translations are just the beginning for us. eBay enables global trade. I chose this slide just to illustrate velocity we deal with at eBay. We have more than 1.5 billion active listings live on the eBay marketplaces. eBay is an exporting platform. 57% of business is international. We have 174 million buyers in 190 markets. Velocity on eBay is remarkable. A watch is purchased every 5 seconds in the United States. A makeup product is sold every 2 seconds in UK. A smartphone is purchased every 16 seconds in Germany. And a car part is sold every 6 seconds in Australia. Our third-party developers make around 250 million API calls per hour. Again, this is just to illustrate the scale we operate at. We made our image recognition technology available to developers through our image search. To help build their businesses, developers now have a capability to incorporate new computer vision-based eBay features into their experiences. Basically, to enable their users to use pictures instead of words. Again, we have more than 1.5 billion listings, an enormous amount of data to train our models. Another example is machine translation. Many people don't realize how important it is to our seller community. We opened the machine language translation technologies in API in August 2018 to allow our developers to integrate this into their applications and their experiences. As I already mentioned, eBay is a truly global marketplace, again with 174 million buyers in 190 markets. So our primary goal is to connect buyers and sellers around the world. It is crucial to our sellers to cross the language barrier and amplify reach. Machine translation is one of the key contributors to promoting cross-border trade on eBay. It is a considerable remover of friction. However, the true power of the API is the underlying technology. The new models are based on an in-house AI technology and state-of-the-art algorithms optimized for the e-commerce context. They translate item titles and descriptions. Both buy and sell integrations could benefit from translation capabilities. This whole machine translation concept sounds really simple, but there are many challenges behind the scene. More than 1.5 billion listings is a massive amount of data to process, and probably a dream for every data scientist. On the other side, challenges are in diverse categories. We have more than 20,000 nodes in our category tree. Brand awareness, Apple brand versus Apple fruit, seller-provided content for all these listings. So our models are trained to address all of the challenges that seller-provided content, item titles and descriptions bring. Seller could describe their listings the way they want. Today, I cover the approaches we took at eBay to deliver new modern RESTful APIs, the governance processes we established, and the lessons learned throughout this journey. The APIs express the value of a business and enable it to expand into new contexts and new experiences. So, in case of eBay, our API gold rush continues. We have passionate teams and common goal to turn ideas into product at scale and to create interfaces developers love. Our vision is to keep opening the marketplace capabilities, basically to have APIs acting as lingua franca for our partners around the globe. Thank you.